All right, let's talk about James Kennedy. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a TED talk because if you've been following me for a while, you know that I have really gone back and forth when it comes to James. There have been times where I've been pro James. There have been times where I have been anti James. There are times where I have made excuses for his behavior in my content. There have been times where I've said he's a piece of shit. I think I've had a lot of compassion for him because clearly he had gone through some hard shit in his life. And when it involved his parents and their addictions and their problems and their, financial concerns, I think he also took on a lot of financial burdens when it came to his parents and it came to his siblings, and they put a lot on him, unfortunately. Obviously, he has a substance abuse problem. He has talked about this on the show multiple times. The cast has talked about it a million times. Lisa Vanderpump has talked about it a million times. I've also talked a million times about how I don't like that they continued to allow him on the show when they clearly saw that he had a substance abuse problem, and why they didn't try to get him into rehab. I don't understand why they didn't try to do that. Lisa Vanderpump is a millionaire, if not a billionaire by now. She could have found a way to do that, to help him out in that way, if she wanted to so badly. But in my opinion, I think she just liked having him on the show for entertainment value. I also have talked about how I feel like there have been times where his alcoholism was triggered by the cast and their behavior towards him. I think there were times that if they left him alone and didn't instigate him and push him all the time, I think he would have behaved better, and I think he would have handled things a lot better. I don't think that DJing, I don't think living in Hollywood is good for any person that has a substance abuse issue. And I've talked about how I think him and Kristen were both very toxic for each other. I think that Kristen probably did and said things that she probably regrets in that relationship, along with things that clearly he has done too. That being said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Kristen smacked him on television. It doesn't matter that Jax and Kristen were constantly pushing him to the brink when it came to his sobriety. It doesn't matter how many fights he was in. It doesn't matter that his parents were difficult, his brothers were difficult. Does it give context? Yeah, it does. But that doesn't mean that he gets to be abusive to his partners. That doesn't mean he gets to be nasty and rude and horrible. It means that he should have taken his surroundings around him and tried to make a better life for himself and take himself out of situations that were toxic and stop spending time around people that were toxic towards him too, that triggered his behavior. He actively chose not to do that. He actively and continually chose to be on the show, which he should not have been. He kept choosing to date people that he knew were going to add to his stress and add to his pain. He kept being around people he shouldn't have been around. He chose a career that enables bad behavior and enables substance abuse. And it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He is a grown-ass adult. He's been a grown-ass adult for a very long time. And it gets to a point where there is no excuse for having abusive tendencies and having aggressive tendencies. Because whether or not he physically actually did something to Allie, which also it doesn't confirm, I haven't seen anything that's confirmed that it was Allie that he was I'm assuming because it's domestic. I don't know laws, I don't know rules, I don't know all these things, okay? I am assuming because it's categorized under domestic that it is Allie, obviously. I would like Allie to say something. I go back and forth with Allie because on one hand, I feel like she really does hold him accountable and really is like, I'm not putting up with your shit. I'm not dealing with this. But then also kind of backtracks and is like still in a relationship with him, even though she sees he's acting stupid. I go back and forth with her because I'm like, you say that you're going to do this, but then you don't. But then at the same time, we shouldn't be upset with Allie. We should be upset with James and his behavior and the fact that we as a society have set up women to think that they have to keep going back to abusers and fix them. And I feel like that is a part of it. And I think that's like reminds me a lot of Jax and Brittany. Is like Jax and Brittany, they should have broken up a long time ago. But there was this underlying conversation always about how Brittany fixed Jax and Brittany made Jax better. And I think as women, we take pride in making people better and making people happy and fixing them. We take a lot of pride in that. And when we do that and we see that, we get like almost like a little high off of it. And I feel like that's kind of could be happening with Allie and James as well. Because Allie seems like a really nice girl. She seems very sweet. She seems pretty normal overall, very level-headed. But I know coming from myself that I have been in situations where I kept staying with somebody that I knew was toxic and I knew was not good for me. But I saw good moments that I helped like push forward, and I took a lot of pride in that. I'm disappointed. I'm not surprised. I feel like with Jax and the Toms, I'm never disappointed because I expect their shit behavior 24/7. I expect them to be horrible people because they've never shown an ounce of progress. Not once have they ever shown an ounce of progress. They're just dimming the bullshit every once in a while to hide from the fact that they're still horrible people. Whereas James, I genuinely feel like there has been a lot of growth and a lot of change and a lot of betterment to his life. And I feel like it's so disappointing when you see somebody who has put a lot of effort in, because I really do think he has at times, not consistently, unfortunately. But I do feel like he has put so much effort in and so much, he's just tried so hard to change his life to only continue to have these stupid demons that he behaves. And it's like one of those things where it's like, you can't fix somebody that doesn't want to be fixed. And I feel like that's James. Like, you can love somebody so much. You can want the best for them. You can see the best in them. And he's still the same person, dealing with the same demons, doing the same shit. And he has to want to be better. And I think a part of that, in my unprofessional opinion, needs to be some version of a rehab. Because I don't think James has ever been to rehab. I could be wrong. But also, I follow this group like I'm an FBI agent, and I don't think that he has ever gone to a rehab, and I really think he should go to one. I also think that he would benefit from going to AA regularly. I think he would benefit from a sponsor to hold him accountable and to be there for him. And I know Lala said this, like, you don't want to push somebody to get sober because you want them to get sober. But you can only do so much when they don't want to be. And they keep going back and forth and back and forth. And you hope that they want to change their life before something horrible happens. And James is going to spiral. We've known James spiral into horrible situations. And getting arrested is not good. I do want to hear from Allie because I just want to hear her side of the story and what everything that happened, and make sure that she's okay and she's safe and people are supporting her and loving her and are there for her, and that she's going to be okay out of all of this. And obviously Graham, their dog and their cat and like their life, and this type of behavior is really, really scary. It's really fucking scary, and it's scary to your entire life. And also, I'm pretty sure James owns that house that they live in. She does not. So therefore, she doesn't have a home, essentially, if they did break up, which is really scary and really hard. So I'm just wishing them all the best. And these are just like my thoughts from someone that's literally watched them since day fucking one and has continued to follow them and see them through good times and bad times. And I'm currently prepping for a season 6 of Vanderpump Rules recap video that I hopefully will do before the end of the year. And watching James in season 6 is crazy. Like, he was on one that season with substance abuse. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, because man, oh man, I've just been thinking a lot about this.